Hey there, you might remember recently I was in Paoli co-hosting Sandwiches of History, a dining experience with Andy Ziegler at 7 Acre Dairy. I didn't think I was going to have a lot of time to do some stuff, but I did manage to get a couple of things in. You might recall my recent video where I visited the National Mustard Museum in Middleton, Wisconsin, and that was a lot of fun. Well, today we're going to be visiting Monroe, Wisconsin, and stopping in at Baumgartner's Cheese Store and Tavern, and then heading on over to the last plant in America that's making Limburger cheese, Chalet Cheese Co-op. So a few quick things. This was not planned, so there's no script to it. I only had one microphone, so the audio is not the best. And I say, let's go see how the cheese is made, but it was Thursday, and Thursday turns out is the day that they scrub the entire plant clean, so I didn't get to actually see the cheese making process, but it was still a fun visit. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Monroe, Wisconsin, where today we're going to get a chance to tour a Limburger cheese factory, but first we're stopping at the world-famous Bumgartner's for a Limburger sandwich. Let's go inside. All right, so we're inside Baumgartner's, and I'm holding my mic, which I don't usually like to do because I only have one. And I'm here with
Heidi.
And tell us a little bit about Baumgartner's. How long have you been here, and other facts that you have?
Yeah, so I'm actually the head chef. I've been here for about 5 years. Baumgartner's is the oldest cheese store in Wisconsin. We've been open since 1931. It started out just as a cheese factory, like making supply company, and then his customers started paying him in cheese, and then once Prohibition was lifted, then it was beer and cheese together, and the rest is history.
Classic combo.
Yeah, exactly. So we get cheese from about 10 different factories in the Greene County area. We hand cut it, wrap it, and sell it.
And how many varieties of cheese do you have?
Oh, probably 20, 25.
And what's the best seller? Is there a best seller?
Probably Limburger.
Wow, I guess that shouldn't be surprising since we're here for the Limburger sandwich, but that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Holy smokes. A little bit early, but... This is their famous Limburger cheese sandwich. It's just Limburger, onion on dark rye or pumpernickel, and yes, that is an Andes chocolate mint on top. Gotta love that they give you a mint, because they know what this is. All right, so let's give this Baumgartner's Limburger cheese sandwich a go. I like it. The cheese is funky, but the red onion cuts right through it. And it's really tasty. I love the bread. That said, I do want to plus this up. I'm going to add some of Baumgartner's own mustard. Okay, let's give this Baumgartner's Limburger cheese sandwich plussed up with Baumgartner's mustard a go. Even better. The nice sharp mustard contrasting with the cheese and the funk. And then we got that bright crunch of the red onion. This is good. Tell you what, let's go see how Limburger is made. Here we are at the Chalet Cheese Co-op, which made the cheese and the sandwich I enjoyed. And they are the last plant in America still making Limburger cheese.
Back in the day when the Germans and the Swiss were immigrating to this area, they couldn't afford meat, but they needed protein, right? So they wanted some cheese, which has a lot of protein, with a really robust flavor to it. And they were familiar with Limburger, which is made in an area that's around like the Netherlands and Belgium and Germany, and that's got a really robust flavor to it. So they said, hey, let's have our Limburger, give us that protein, give us that flavor. They added the mustard, because mustard and cheese always goes well together. And the onion's kind of interesting because that's actually a prebiotic, right? And your Limburger, the surface ripening that we do to that cheese is actually a probiotic. It's wonderful gut health for, they didn't even realize it then, for these Germans and the Swiss that were in this area. So that kind of became a staple, and there was probably 100 factories in this area that made Limburger. Our history, Chalet Cheese, we're a dairy cooperative.
Okay.
We're owned by dairy farmers in the area. Okay, so they're providing all the milk to us, and our particular farmers have a real unique flavor profile of the milk, because there's a lot of brown Swiss cows in the milk that we're receiving. Very rich butterfat protein. It gives us a unique flavor. So when they were looking at getting cheesemakers, they pulled them in from Switzerland. And the original cheesemaker here actually had the Limburger solution in the sock, in his boot. And he brought that so he could get it through, and that culture has remained with us since 1885. Yeah.
So boot cheese.
Yeah, I can lie with a straight.
No, yeah.
I don't know how Clay got here, but
Hook, line, and sinker. I fell for it.
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
good. That's a
okay,
good
so
story,
it's
right?
foot cheese.
It's for cheese. Yeah.
That's why it smells.
It sounds very like, oh yeah, the old world.
oh sure.
Yeah, well, like,
Over the years, the cheesemakers in this area have kind of gone by the wayside with producing Limburger. They switched to other more popular cheeses. We've remained as the only Limburger manufacturer partially because we were in a business relationship with a company that you may have heard of, even in California, called Kraft.
Yeah.
This building was a joint venture between Kraft and Chalet Cheese Farmers.
okay.
And Kraft, if nothing else, is known for really good distribution. So our product was able to be distributed nationwide. So people know us, know of Country Castle, which is one of our brands, and that's the Limburger that's maintaining the reputation.
And is it still a partnership with Crafts?
No,
Okay.
no. Just the building and the initial business dealings was
Are you still distributed nationwide?
not so much.
Okay.
There is still pockets where we've had our product go, but we're trying to reinvigorate that a little bit. When Kraft got bought out, business decision was to get away from Limburger. So we've lost some of that distribution.
And you think that was because of the odor that comes from the cheese after it's unwrapped?
No, I don't think so. Some tricks to the trade. One is that when you buy the product, take it out of its wrapper and wash the outer body. You could also just trim the outer line. So what's in is that rind? It's a Brevibacterium linens.
Okay.
And what it's doing is it's taking the cheese and it's consuming the cheese as it goes and making it more creamy and delicious, but it has a residual.
Now, Chalet makes more than just Limburger. They also make Bierkäse, which is a soft, creamy, earthy cheese that was traditionally eaten with beer. Liederkranz, which is similar to Limburger but milder. Lebec, which is an original that is buttery, slightly smoky. And they also make, what is not pictured here, brick cheese and something called Alpanero, which is a cross between Parmesan and Gouda. And they have won an impressive amount of medals for their cheese making.
Pictures that you see here are pictures that were taken back in 1948 after this facility was built. The apartment above the factory where you have Mrs. Kraft with Mrs. Deppler and some friends. This is Albert Deppler. He was the first general manager here for the factory. That's Norman Kraft. These were the farmers that were involved in the after the construction of the facility. There's some cheesemakers that were there. Just pictures of the factory back after it was up and running in '48. So it's been around since 1885. What's really neat about this operation and cooperatives in general, but especially this operation, is that the farmers are very much involved in the operation because they are the owners. They're wanting the best quality milk brought here, and they're very concerned that the product is what they expect, which is high quality cheese. So it's a really nice relationship between us as the managers and the cheesemakers and the farmers that are providing the milk. What you have there are a variety of cheeses that we manufacture. We've won the world championship for our Swiss and for our baby Swiss. We also, as you know, make Limburger and some other wash rind cheeses like Lebec and Liederkranz and Bierkäse, German brick, those type of cheeses. But we've also branched out. We're making a Gouda Parmesan blend that's known as Alpanero. We make Butterkäse, which you might be familiar with. There's been some TikTok videos out there about Butterkäse on a sweet potato. It's kind of a fun, wonderful thing to do. But yeah, so we have quite a variety of different cheeses. We make Havarti, we make Gouda, we make Munster, we make Brick. Wisconsin Brick is a Wisconsin original. So let's continue on with the tour. Come with me. I like the hat too. There you go. When the milk comes in, it comes into these vats.
All right, and these for us are open vats. So our cheesemakers are very good at what they do. They're more of like an artisanal kind of cheesemaker. So they're able to see the product, they can smell it, they can feel it to know if the grip is right. So the grip is, they're grabbing the curds and they're squeezing it to see, is it knitting together properly? What is the feel of the cheese? Because that they use all their senses when they're making cheese, especially at a factory like this, which is more of an artisanal kind of operation. So what are the ingredients in cheese?
Yeah, oh, definitely milk.
There's milk, and then there's rennet, which is a coagulant, and then there's the cultures, which gives you the flavor that you're looking for. There's only 3 ingredients.
Now, a lot of folks hear rennet and they think animal rennet. Is that still the predominant use case? Or?
No, predominantly it's a microbial, so it's not going to be your cow's stomach. Most of us have all gone to the microbials.
Awesome.
Are then made into cheese. Okay, the whey has a different stream. A lot of times people are using whey for like energy drinks or power those bars and all of that. That's another processing development that's occurred in our industry. But the curds then get dipped onto tables, and dipping probably refers to back in the day they used to take pails or buckets and they would dip the cheese out of the vats into forms. Now we have pumps and we pump it. It's still called dipping, but we pump it onto tables. And the tables allow the cheese to drain the whey out. There's still a lot of whey in the cheese, and we're able to start to solidify the curds. They start knitting together to become cheese. The curd becomes cheese.
So obviously I've had and I've seen cheese curds as a snack. What is the determination about which becomes a cheese and why do you do curds?
So all cheese starts out as a curd, okay, and the curd, it depends on what you want. If you want curd, what you will do then is you'll mill that product, typically. You'll mill it into the sizes that you're looking for. Okay. What we're going to go into is the cherished moment for tours coming through Chalet Cheese. We're going to go into what's known as the Limburger cellar. We don't let very many people in here, okay? So when we come in, we have to be very careful because the Limburger surface ripening solution, the Brevibacterium linens, is in milk cans. And if we're careless and we tip those over and we lose our Brevibacterium linen solution, we won't be able to make Limburger anymore.
Gotcha.
Okay, so let's be very careful in there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. There's definitely an aroma in here.
It's a moist environment because we're trying to keep the Brevibacterium linens alive. So it's a live culture that's on the outside of the cheese. It is protecting the cheese, and it also is working the cheese so it can give it that flavor and break it down to the texture that we're looking for.
And how long will these be in here for?
The product's made, and it's in here for about, let's just say, anywhere from 7 days to 21 days.
And is 21 days like considered a premium product?
Sometimes, yes. Yes.
Excellent. I hope that was fun for you. It was for me. Big shout out to Nick at 7 Acre Dairy for driving us around and arranging for all of this to take place. Also, a big shout out to Chalet Cheese Co-op General Manager Mike Lubeck for giving us the tour and providing us with some nice cheeses to taste. And of course, shout out to Christine for doing an awesome job filming at the last minute. I enjoy doing these videos and I'd like to do more in the future, but I'm curious what you think. Let me know in the comments. All right, see you next time.